Lexington restaurant owner will soon hang up his apron, but he wants his legacy to continue for his customers and for his employees.
I want to make sure that they can continue making a good living and enjoying what they're doing, because it's a family place and it's about having, not just about making money, it's about having fun.
Joe Bologna recently announced his retirement. He says he must sell the restaurant for it to stay open or it will retire with him. New tonight, WKYT's Jeremy Toms has his story.
In more than 50 years of serving up his Italian specialties, Joe Bologna has done it all.
My first 6 months working, I managed, cooked, and cashiers.
And his love of serving people and making good food has never wavered.
Like tonight with the ball game, I started at 7 this morning. I'll get home at 8 o'clock.
That dedication has kept customers coming back for decades.
For us, it's memories. It takes you back in time because we've done this since we were very first married. The food's delicious. I mean, it's the best pizza around.
Bologna's bond with the community got him through many difficult days.
I was determined COVID wasn't the way I wanted to finish up.
Now, he says business is better than ever. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end.
In everybody's paycheck, I sent a little note that we were going to be closing at the end of July and I was going to retire.
That's heartbreaking. I hate to hear that. It's not going to be the same without Joe. I just hope somebody will pick it up and stay as it is.
Bologna told his workers he's looking for a good buyer that will continue their tradition.
And I want to take care of my employees. I'm one person, but it takes 50 people to run the place.
Until he finds that someone that brings the right ingredients to his table, he's going to keep plating his pizzas, pastas, and those giant breadsticks the same way he always has.
It's sort of bittersweet, but I want to do it right for the customer, right to the end.
In Lexington, Jeremy Toms, WKYT.
Well, here's how you know the place is beloved. In just a few days, Bologna has already heard from half a dozen people looking to buy the restaurant. He says he's got a tough choice ahead of him, but he will work with the new owner to help them learn the ins and outs of the business.